so that we can touch. That's what everybody didn't want to
Why didn't they include the committee and then the community's input that has been going on for years? That's the question.
years.
No, nothing.
That's what they're coming up with different concept plans. Good. Well, it took 3 years to get everybody that was Congress involved in that out of the way.
Do you want to sit in my seat? Do you want my seat?
No, he's perfectly all right.
Okay. All right.
As long as I can hear what's said.
Yeah, you can pull up a chair right here if you want.
Well, it'll go
We
three.
can sit. Scoot.
I think I like it.
We can sit. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good. I got to see you back.
No, I don't see you, but I'm always good. You sitting over here this coming.
No, man, I'm fine right here. I can hear that, hear everything right from here. Same spot.
Well, same spot.
I just hope that you somewhere not
Big guy. Big man.
Thank you for coming, and I'm glad you all fit around the table. That makes it much easier. We do have a poster in the back, and we have one up here in front. We need access to the maps. We have a couple of others too. We can let you take a look at it if you need to. I'm Evett. That's Derek Wainscot. He's our city engineer. It's his firm's planners that we worked with to produce what you see today in the layout concept. Now, before I say anything, because some of you I know are going to question the word final versus final concept. It's a final staff concept. In other words, this is the concept that we feel comfortable to present to you. It has not been seen by the commission. It's not going to the commission yet. I'd like to take it there by the 13th of October, but this meeting will review and
Who is that?
Oh, is that my phone?
okay, I was enjoying the music. Didn't even bring mine. But anyway, so let me give you a little bit of what's happened before tonight. When I first got here, one of the first things I heard that was a continuing project for the city was Melissa Park. And Melissa Park had been on the drawing board, so to speak, for, I understand, up to maybe 25 years. And every time it was pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. Various things may have occurred. I know the pavilion was built there and stuff like that, but really no concentrated effort to redesign, redo the park. So that's one of the things that we took on when I first arrived here some 18 months ago. When I first got into it, I had some interesting things happen. Let me just use this as an example so you can all see. We don't have a good, easy thing. This is the park as it exists today, right here. When I first arrived, this did not exist in the park. And these properties across the top were not part of the park. They were privately owned parcels. This one was actually buildable. Somebody could come in and get a building permit and actually build a house there if they wanted to. These were not buildable, and therefore they were much less expensive to acquire. The city has acquired, in the last 12 months, all of this property and added it to the park. We also have this area on top that goes along here. It is actually a right-of-way in the favor of the city, so it's a city right-of-way. And we're proposing to keep it that way because we can use it then for city activities of a vehicular or trail nature. We can build a trail up there, we can build parking, we can build a road without any difficulty. If we abandon it, we'd have to at least purchase half of it. In this area, we have to purchase all of it down here because it's only a right-of-way. But we could use it as a right-of-way. This is not even in the plan right now, but you might want to think about what would go into this comfortably. And one of the things, we have parking coming out of the middle here, parking would be up here, it would take the traditional entrance away, so maybe not a good idea, but, and then over here, there is another piece of land. Don't you wish you had a larger map? Right here. This just came to our attention. There were 2 homes built in Ohio. One was built on city property. Remember that? About 2 years ago, something like that. Maybe a little longer, 2 years ago now. But anyway, that was all settled. Part of it went into funding for this park. But what was left was a 90-foot wide piece of land. That is not buildable. So what I'm concerned with is that at some point in the future, somebody's going to see it, want to build on it, want to make an argument, blah, 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 blah. So maybe it is to the city's best interest. It's not part of this plan. So to actually acquire this as an entrance, to come up here, get into the right-of-way, and make this all part of the same park. That's just pipe dreams at this point, but I want to let you know that we're thinking about it. Yes?
That property to the right is city-owned.
To the right.
Property you're talking about up here?
It's behind the homes that were built, the property.
Well, there's a house here.
No.
No.
You guys go up down. Yeah, the next lot is ours too.
This is the one, is this the one that the house was built on?
No. No.
You're talking about the
We have-
25-foot wide lot?
We have this one,
It's just.
and then there was right
off the
here,
edge where the house
that they
is.
built the entire house on, and we lost that property, and they gave
Yeah.
us
So,
20.
Roger, this is part of it, right?
So this is the plan from Ann Robbins in 2020, September 2020.
I'm sorry,
And
Nancy, what'd you say?
This is the plan
Yeah.
from Ann Robbins, who was the park chair for Melissa Park in September 2020. And the properties that you talk about is right here. The city owns it. It is behind the 2 homes that were built next door to Melissa Park on Ohio. We already own that. I don't know if you're talking about another property, but the city already owns this
Well,
on
we own,
It's behind the 2 houses that were built, right?
Yes.
and then the right-of-way on top.
We already have access to all of that. We already have access to that. It isn't something that needs to be purchased additionally.
Okay, well, it's something we additionally need to plan for then. But this is the plan we've been working on.
I think the 90-foot area you're talking about is actually between two of the houses.
It is, it is. It is, there's the house next to the park, then there's one that's on, over here next to the,
Oh, you're talking about between the two?
yeah.
Where they were gonna try to build a house.
In between is a 90-foot segment that we have, they actually, a builder came in, wanted to build on, and we said, no, you cannot. So.
Well, that was the same builder that built the two homes. For
Yep.
most of us, we know that story.
Yep.
Personally, as a taxpayer, I don't think at this point I would want to see that acquired unless they basically gave it to us. Because if I owned one of those homes, I would hate to be a homeowner of one of those homes and have a road all of a sudden put in,
Right.
or parking, or
I agree with you.
let that owner just sit on
The only-
something he can't build on.
The only value of that land is either to the home on either side or split it and go either way.
That's on them. We should even bring
Yeah.
that into.
I'm just
our-
mentioning it as something that what I wanted you to know is this has been an evolving plan. If any of you ever remodeled your house, you know, you remodel a kitchen and then, oh my goodness, the living room doesn't look so good. So you remodel the living room, the bathrooms don't look so good now. Well, as we started out to look at the playground. That was the original charge. And what had traditionally been underway is redesigning the playground. And so we started just in the down corner there of the playground. We started looking just at the playground. The more we looked at the playground, the more we said, oh my goodness, we've got private land over here that somebody can actually build a house on. Let's acquire that. We went after funding for CDBG with the playground. We got that. We went after another CDBG grant most recently, and we're in the process of getting that. We got $25,000 from the settlement of where the house is located. It shouldn't have been located. We've got that. We've
The
got
money from the 5K. The money from the 5K.
the money from 5K, which I don't have historically how much that is, but I'm sure somebody can tell me.
We got a total of what?
Well, I know between the CDBG grant, the 5K, and the $25,000, we initially had around $107,000. Then we were told, and that would, actually when all this started, they wanted the community wanted a basketball court, a new, not resurfaced, but a new basketball court,
Yes,
and a new play equipment.
yes,
That's it. They didn't want the pomp and circumstance
you're
of
absolutely
a
right.
$550,000 park. They were not asking their neighbors or their city for that expense. They were asking for a basketball court that was playable.
You're right, you're right.
And
that's-
probably equipment.
So, when we talk about the equipment was removed with the idea it was being powder coated and to be brought back. And that is what we, as the Parks and Playground Committee and the community has held to. And that also kept thousands of dollars from being spent on new equipment because they wanted the swings, they wanted the bouncies, they wanted the climber.
As you noticed, we have not spent any money on those things. We did take the pieces of equipment. They were sandblasted, they're powder coated, they're in storage, they're ready to come back. And that's the purpose of this. You know, the commission wants to do what the neighborhood would like to have done. We have given you, if you want to describe it as the Cadillac of all plans, this is it. And the commission is ready to fund something much more substantial than the playground. But it's up to the community what you want. It's not up to me, it's not up to the commission. Paulette?
I have a question.
Sure.
Did anybody from the community, were they involved with y'all with the planning or the suggestions that y'all
Informally.
have for the playground?
Informally.
What do you mean informally?
You
Either
know,
yes or no?
well, what
That's
Nancy said
that's
is,
an
you
easy
know,
question.
we've heard from the very beginning, the basketball court was the thing that some people were looking for.
Yes, the basketball court was one
Yeah.
of the main
And the
things.
playground.
Right,
And the other one that I heard a lot about was the building. Are we gonna do anything with the building? And-
Right.
And right now, we don't have anything programmed for the building. That's something that we could concentrate on more than we have here. But anyway, so let me just describe some of the things that we
wait a minute,
have.
we're
Oh,
not
I'm sorry.
finished with my question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Either a yes or no about anybody input from the community besides a
Yes,
official and no official, because I know back in 2020, I came to, I don't think he was here, maybe it was 2019. I came to a workshop for about 3 or 4 hours about the playground. And I wasn't on a playground committee or anything. Rick Mullins was here at the time. Mike Walker was police chief, all this. We was told, my biggest complaint was about the electric in the building. Since then, y'all have fixed that. But my thing is, why can't, if we're gonna put all this money in, yes, y'all rent it out. When we have funerals and stuff, we need somewhere to rent. That room is not really big enough. If we even just put a screened-in porch on the back, it's enough land now to put something back there so people can have somewhere to go decent. Because a lot of times when you try to get Hopkins Hall, it's already rented out. So, you know, I know we want the park to be beautiful, nothing against that. Don't have a problem with that. It's just certain things that we said we was going to do back then. We said something about a wall for history for Lake Helen. You know, it's just some things that we had already planned on doing, and then now it's like we're not talking about it.
Well, first of all, nobody is programmed any money. We've earmarked funds, we have some in the bank, but nobody is going to be spending any money unless the plan is approved by the commission. If you don't want the plan, it won't be funded.
Right, I'm just asking whether anybody from the community had any input.
Well, absolutely. As you know, again, the basketball court was the subject of a lot of discussion. The playground was the basis of it in the first place, the building you mentioned. You mentioned the building. It's important, I think, for you to know, Kelly, get right to you, that we actually have 2 rental facilities in the city. Hopkins Hall, which is beautiful, but it can be very expensive, and the other one is Melissa. And Melissa is the most popular rental facility we have. And so...
Oh, the shelter for boys, right?
Yeah, and so it makes a lot of sense to expand that because it gets a lot of use. And the insides are not very friendly.
It need to be updated 100%. That's
Yeah, I think that's a good summation.
building, the kitchen part is too small.
Everything's
The
bad.
restroom is small, it need to be
It's not
all
handicap,
over again.
is it?
Yeah.
Does it
Everything.
need handicap accessibility?
And I don't recall if it does. I don't think it does.
I'm just asking, you know me, when it comes to my head,
Now, what this gentleman mentioned is, one of the things this city does traditionally, and I'm not sure it's good or bad, is we try to take an existing structure and do something to improve it rather than, maybe the best answer is just to take that building down and build a brand new one in. That would be everything that's because it's bigger and better and
You
safer.
know, I think if, instead of spending the thousands and thousands of dollars that you all have on these plans, you should have brought the community together.
I know.
Can I finish, please? Can I finish?
No, Kelly, you asked me a question.
Actually, she's got the question.
Okay, go
She's
ahead.
asking what I was gonna ask.
Why has the community not been involved? This is their part, this is historically
The
their part.
community was involved.
They were
As
not
you know,
involved. They
until
were not
Arts and
involved.
Recreation Commission-
Evett, I'm sorry.
I what?
You weren't even here.
I was here when the Parks and Recreation Commission studied this thing.
Me neither. Very beginning.
I recall being in a commission meeting where the Parks Committee came back and said, here, our $25,000, we'd like to refurbish this playground.
Yeah.
The commission said, let's get a bigger picture of what would be nice for the city.
Yeah.
Right? This is beautiful. So I don't think we should be tearing up what's that's going to improve the city.
How are we
And
gonna
put a
afford
few back-
this? This is a $550,000 program, or
He
plan.
just explained that he's getting grants.
He's not getting
Okay,
that.
We already
okay,
have-
how long before
We
we're gonna
already
have
have
this done?
400,000.
Okay, how long, we got $400,000, correct?
Yes.
Okay, how long would it take? Is it gonna be in my lifetime? I'm just asking a question. Because like I say, I came to a workshop in 2019, no, you wasn't here, you don't know it, I know you don't wanna hear this, but it's okay. You know I'm gonna say what's on my mind, you know that,
Of
right?
course.
Okay, I just want you to know, I'm gonna say what's on this lady's mind. Say it, please. what we need to do, we need to have a time we're gonna start and a projected time we're gonna finish. Because we can sit here month after month, week after week, discussing this. We've been discussing this forever. And we have not seen anything. You know, I came to you more than one time. You told me that it would be done in October. Okay, October is about here and gone.
Yes.
Have no problem with that, but please give me an idea. I'm a person that want to see something. I don't want to just keep talking about it.
Fair
Because we
enough,
ain't getting
fair
nowhere.
enough. The purpose of tonight's meeting is not to talk about the history, it's to talk about this particular concept. Whether you like it, don't like it, you'd like to see this, you'd like to move that, you'd like to eliminate this, you add something here. That's the whole purpose of tonight. When that input comes into us, we'll take this back, we'll redo it to match those suggestions, and then we'll go to the commission. And we'll tell the commission, here's the plan that the community has looked at and has considered, and we may change it because of their input. And then we'll ask the commission permission to go ahead and start designing the thing and building it. So, I'm sorry.
What we need to do, once you come up with a plan, you need to come back to the community, and let them look at it and see whether, you know, your plans and their plans will come out the same. Otherwise, you're gonna have to have another meeting or whatever to correct what they want. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but you have to remember, how many people are here today?
This is the community.
Yeah.
This is the meeting for the community.
We had 20
So,
people.
that's what he wants
So
to do.
Yeah.
you're not gonna sit there tonight and say, okay, take this off. You're gonna sit here and say, take this off, or we want this.
The
whatever.
concerned
The same way-
citizens for this park are here.
And the same way he's talking about power coding the playground equipment. Have they looked into the safety of the old equipment that you have there?
Oh,
To say it's safety enough to bring in?
That's
Or, you know what? We need new playground equipment, period.
We've already got the prices on.
But you said, you didn't say that. You said that you're gonna bring back.
No, bring back two pieces is all.
Okay.
No, we have gone out for prices. We've talked to the county about prices. The prices are staggering. I will tell you, the prices for just the playground equipment, playground, and I'm not telling you it has to be that design, but typical equipment for this is $120,000. I mean, and I called the county and I said, yeah, this is not right. Tim, the gentleman, the director.
Do you have an
Sure.
example of this too, that you have chosen for the community park? Do you have an example?
We have, yeah, I don't have one tonight, but we have good samples. The location.
The plan view of the playground equipment in the front of the property is the equipment that we got quotes on.
Why would we want this climber when we have a climber that is that is.
You have an unsafe climber that you're getting powder coated, and no one will sign off on it to replace it without safety improvements.
I thought you
Period.
just asked
What are the
that.
safety
I thought you just
improvements?
asked that. Didn't you ask that question? Is that still safe? Wait a minute, I'm confused now. He just asked that, was it the same?
Some of the G-Desk.
Old school playground equipment, swing sets, geodetic domes are not safe. Okay?
Legally safe.
Okay, but I'm saying,
All right.
when he asked that, he said it was. So,
The new equipment is safe.
Not just that.
he asked that question.
We have two historic ones we've refurbished, and I have no problem.
We need to see the equipment that you talking about, that, we need to see pictures and all that.
If you want to go, okay, we're down here in that level. Let's talk about the concept. It's an example. Kelly?
I'd like to know, all this here is new size.
Yeah.
What you all planning on?
That's just an example.
Planning on taking the Melissa Park away and put it for a new development. That's what I'm interested in, because otherwise than that, you're not doing anything.
Well, let me tell you, here's what I'm interested in doing tonight. And I don't expect you to write down stuff and to raise your hand and tell us what you.
No, I'm not writing anything, because I've been here for 84 years, I've been right there and let go, so I know.
I know.
I started out with the Melissa Park.
I want you to take these home if you want, and think about it, and let us know what changes you'd like to see, or questions you have, and the like. As an example, this land was never considered before. Okay. This land was never considered before because it's just been added to the park. Okay? And this is a forested area. You'll see it as number 1 on your concept. If you go down Lemon Street, off of Horn, there are some lots that are being cleared. And look in there, and you'll see an example of what this area might look like. It's beautiful. It's trees about 4-inch caliber. All the undergrowth is cut out. Beautiful trails through there. So this is something that was never ever considered before because it's brand new. Same thing with the land up here on top, walking trails. That was never considered because it's brand new. The court here is in this particular location. Right now it sits this way. Okay, we oriented this way so we have other activities that are similar for smaller kids. The playground is almost exactly where it is today. That's what we're interested in, is the placement of these things. If you want to get down to the nitty-gritty of the type of equipment and whether it's blue or green or up or down, we can get into that later when we actually get around to designing the equipment. But right now we've got to know how much land we have for that equipment.
I have a question. This is a great concept, but right now the city of Lake County is not maintaining the current park we have. This is a lot of upkeep, underbrushing trees and taking care of picnic tables and lights and rock climbing and all of these things are a lot of upkeep. How does the city plan on taking care of this park if you can't take care of what we already have?
Right. So we just abandoned this?
Well, that's not what I'm saying, but I mean, we need an answer as to how you're going to take care of this area.
We will hire the people to fund it to maintain it.
How much has been spent on the engineering so far for this park?
I have no idea.
Can you get
how
that
much the engineering has been so far? Roughly, generally.
15?
Crazy. Okay, the CDBG grant, I think I said it backwards.
The CDBG?
Yeah.
First one is 32,000. Or excuse me, 62,000.
62?
Yeah.
And when does it expire?
No, it's active and we're
So you can have more than one CDBG together?
It should expire September 30th, and a new one begins October 1st.
Right.
Now, maybe I shouldn't have been answering this question, but those are the kind of grants I worked for the last 15 years, and they usually
Paul, that is correct.
expire September 30th, and the new one kick in October.
So have we used any of that grant money and only
Yes,
what?
yes, for engineering. Interestingly enough, there has been no public funds that have gone into this except for the acquisition of land.
Okay, so, wait.
Okay. I'm sorry, Kelly. I'm old. I have to say. Okay. We use. You said 15,000 for engineering.
Right. Well, he
Okay.
said that, that's right.
Okay, but I'm just. Okay, so engineering was able to come out of that grant. I'm asking you because I'm just saying. I thought maybe it came out of the 25,000 because.
No.
The only reason I'm saying that because I wasn't sure that you could use that grant money on a salary. But I might be mistaken. This is just me. I might be mistaken. It's specific things you have to do by that grant.
It's not salary, it's consultant.
Well, I wasn't sure whether you could use that. And I have to look at the grant. You look at the grant, you know what we can use it for and what we can't. But only thing I'm just saying is, we're gonna be here for months, weeks, talking about this. We need to have a estimate date. September 30th is coming. As you said, it was 62,000. Even if we gave him 15,000, we still got money we need to use in the next week and a half. So we need to get a starting point somewhere.
I agree with you, and that's why we're trying to get the bubble concept, if you will. If you're a planner, you know that these are bubbles of areas of activity. Okay? That's what we need to narrow down first. And then we need to start coming before the commission to get permission and start doing things on paper. If we continue to discuss this or that, blue or green, we're already.
Well, 400,000, is that including the CDBG grant?
Yes, the two of them.
And what else is the funds coming from?
25,000 and 250 for earmark, but not appropriated earmark from ARPA.
25 and 200?
250,000,
ARPA?
yeah.
So what happens is.
And then we
If you,
But then we also have the
One at a time,
5K.
please.
We also have the 5K monies from
Yes.
last year and this year, which will apply to it.
yes. I have never seen that written. And you tell me about it, and I don't doubt it, but I've never seen
And
it.
is the 5K dedicated to the ribbon or
It
renovations
always
of the parks?
was, it always was. And as the first chairman of the Parks and Playground Committee, some of the people in here probably don't know, I chaired the first 5Ks to the tune of $40,000. It was $10,000 in a fund.
Right.
From the people that wanted a historic playground, when it was a Parks and Recreation Committee.
Right.
So I think everybody needs to know the history.
Did that
We
go-
worked long and hard to make that money, and finally, one day, one of the commissioners saw fit that we should buy playground equipment. And the committee was formed, and we really, and some of the people that were on the committee even said this, we really didn't have a whole lot to say about what we chose for Lake Park. Becky and Lauren chose what we got. We had no engineering fees at all out of that. None. We also had future plans that we would build a gazebo in the park, so that it's, at someday, if we had funds available and the town grew to the point where we could have, like the villages, entertainment, maybe once or twice a month, we would have a band show for the people to, and we could all sit and listen to the music in the pavilion. That concept, and then the concept of moving the basketball court in Lake Park down toward the tennis courts, was another one of the ideas that were in that plan. We did move on when we got the $25,000 from the contractor that built wrong. We moved on to Melissa Park because that money was going to be earmarked for that park.
Future money
And-
or any of the 40,000?
I'm sorry?
Future money or the 40, part of the 40,000?
No, the $40,000
Was spent on what?
was spent on Blake Park,
So future
and the
money.
city put some additional money with it to do what we have there now.
And there's lots of donations.
But for the most part, I think Dorothy was maybe at a meeting, I know Loretta was there, I know Miss Louisville was there. And they didn't want, they wanted the basketball court because that's where the kids wanted to play.
Right.
Okay? They wanted some equipment, and at that point in time, I thought you were gonna maybe get a piece of equipment such as what we have in Lake Park.
Right. Yes.
And everybody seemed to be happy with that concept.
Yes.
And now we see,
You see a very nice design,
it's very nice, but it's not what they asked for.
and then you don't have to take it.
Okay.
You simply say, I want a basketball court and a playground, and that's easy. That's all they have to
If
say.
that's what they asked, if that's what the people are asking for from the beginning, why did we spend $15,000
Okay, let's call
on
it,
engineering?
I'm double checking to make sure. If that's all you want, this is easy. We do a basketball court and we do a playground. Presto, problem solved. Roger, I'm sorry.
There's a commercial playground company
Yes.
that has an office next to J&J Security on Hamilton Boulevard.
Mhm.
They've been to a lot of the conferences we've been to. Have you looked at what they had available and what they could provide?
I don't know what's the name of the company. We've talked to a couple.
I don't know where'd she go?
There you go. On the book that I have?
Yeah, the book.
Yeah, I have a book. I have a playground book.
Okay, I've
That's the
got,
book I gave you.
yeah, I got some from the conference too. We talked to, but no decision was made of any company.
Okay, I'll bring it down there tomorrow.
Again, we're here to see if
But they
he
have
likes
a lot.
this concept, if he
So the
don't.
Hansel on the playground design.
Yeah. We, yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
I got
talking about the zoning ordinances you were calling.
Yes, I know.
I don't really think that's what we're hitting on here. It's the amount of tax dollars that's being spent and why so much. So I do know that's what I concern myself with.
Okay.
Because I live with a bunch of seniors out in the
I do too.
office. Okay, yeah, I know. First of all, how much did it cost you to acquire the lots?
Total about 30,000.
30,000 for how many lots?
3.
Three. That's a good price. Okay.
Well, one was 25,000, but the other 2 were not buildable, so they must be.
Okay, all right. There's less than 3,000 people, residents, living in Lake Helen.
True.
Now, how many residents are going to be living around this gorgeous park that looks like it belongs in Heath Road? I love the rocks. And how much money do you expect to recoup when you rent out the rocks?
I don't know if no park in my career has ever made money. I mean, they're just not. You're lucky if you can, you're lucky if you get reimbursed on your upkeep.
Well, but I thought this was a place where people wanted to have, homecomings or.
Oh, they do.
weddings.
They do. It's very popular.
How much do you charge?
Not that much.
You gotta put a $100 deposit in, it's like $150.
That's what the tax.
Right.
And I wonder about how many people do that in a year? What
It's
is it that it would take to recoup?
Well, I'm just saying, it just depends, because a lot of people use it for repasts for funerals. Some people use it for parties. We actually used it twice in the last 2 months for our church, for an event for our church. But different people use it for different things. People use it for family reunions. So,
And churches don't pay, and nonprofits don't pay.
right, and it, it'll take a long time to get the money back, but it's not so much about getting the money back, it's just that.
Well, I'm just wondering how they're gonna recoup it.
Right, I'm not sure how they would do it, because they are using grant money to do the building.
Is the grant money designed strictly for this park, or are we gonna take it from another grant?
The CDBG monies were specifically designed for this particular park.
That,
Yeah.
but not all of the additional.
I'm sorry, what did you mean?
Your add-ons,
The 250 from the American Rescue Plan was money the federal government gave to every local government and state government on the part of the COVID.
That was COVID money.
So,
and now they're saying we can spend that on anything.
oh yeah, we can
We
spend.
can spend that, we can always spend that on
Yeah,
anything.
thanks to our finance director, he's got that all approved. Nancy, I'm sorry.
Yes. Can we talk tonight about, is it an appropriate time to talk about scaling this back to what the community wants, which is the play equipment, the basketball court, and possibly a large screen room added to the square footage of the building?
Absolutely.
To really scale it back. I was here when Ms. Robbins was on the board for the other park. There is a master plan for Lake Park that has been abandoned, and with the band shell and all of these different concepts. I think there was a splash park that was going to be the main park. This is historically a Black community park. This is their park, and they are owed this park for their community.
That's why we're trying to do it.
And another thing,
It's not, because it's not reflected.
If the community doesn't want what we've designed, just say it.
They don't, what they have put in for the past years.
It's a Lake Helen Park, but, we're losing focus on what we're here for. We need to look at the history of it. It was donated for a park. Nobody don't even know who Miss Melissa was.
Right, I know.
And I think we should have somewhere, just like at Freedom Playground, You know, you got history of, you know, how that became what it became. You know, I think we should have somewhere at Melissa Park with some kind of history of who Miss Melissa was. She the one who donated the land. She's the one who donated the park. We need to have something, some kind of history. You're seeing a lot of paintings that everywhere else have a historical painting or something of her. We have some famous people who have came through Lake Helen. We have a lady that delivered the majority of the kids in Lake Helen, babies, who was born in the 50s, 60s, and late 60s. And we should have a wall with the history for the kids that's coming up. Like he said, his grandkids love that park. They didn't know, that, you know, back then, in my era, the majority of the kids wasn't born in a hospital. Miss Hattie Huff delivered them. You know, his grandkids would like to go read the wall. Oh, so this is what Miss Hattie Huff, that's what Miss Hattie Huff. You know, stuff you don't see in history books in school, and they don't teach you. We just need to, we just forget about everything that, you know, how some history is. And I know when we originally did this, I know in 2019, they talked about putting the wall, putting the painting up, and that somebody was going to donate it. They wasn't going to charge the city a dime. It wasn't going to cost the city a dime. They wanted to put, do a painting on the side of the wall. Do we have a problem with that? If we address that, then we need to decide how we're going to do this park tonight. Like you said, we are the community. We need to decide what we want, what we don't want, and move on so we can have a start.
And then we can start making serious plans.
Right. And I ain't trying to overstep nobody's.
Nancy, didn't you head up something about some murals?
So this
Yes,
is
I-
right here,
I've had that going on for years.
in the 2020, right here it was already in the plans for the history wall. But it's disappeared since,
What?
the history wall.
Lee, we talked about this several times. I brought it to the commission in February.
It was, it's hard to read this. There was a buffer between the residential.
Nancy did bring up the wall, and we could not find any reference to it in the minutes or any
It's
of
right there.
the meetings.
I can give you the
I
whole
don't see it.
agenda.
But anyway, that doesn't mean we can't do it.
Well, the wall is no cost to the city at all. We have a fabulous artist.
Technically, none of this is gonna cost the city.
Right. That's what I said.
Well,
Except for maybe.
it is our tax dollars, and it is the ARPA money that
It's your
can be
federal
raised.
tax money, if anything, yeah.
Well, some of this money for a $550,000 park, this park is beautiful. Does it belong right here? No, not really. And this isn't what the community wanted. They really don't want this.
If you don't want it, if the community doesn't want it, you don't do it. It's that simple.
But
it's
do
not,
they
it's not
say
coming out
don't
of
do
your,
it?
please, let me
What
finish.
do you want?
Let me finish. It's not coming out of your tax dollars. It's federally funded. You don't want it. That's real easy to say no. We just simply take it out.
Okay. You want me to go? You can go.
Whoever he chooses.
Okay.
Are you kidding? I'm a Roger's heartbeat.
The concept, Mayor, I think most of the people like the concept of everything. But how about going through it section by section and find out each section? And that way, all this argument about cost and what the public wants and everything else can be ironed down, and everybody can have input into the different sections.
Let's do that. Because again, we're talking about the concepts and the area for those concepts. Let's not talk about prices. Number one is the forested area of walking trails that is basically on land that we didn't own until just about 9 months ago. I think, and it's not my park, I think this is one of the most attractive parts of the park. It's basically a wooded area where you walk through the trees, and there's a fort to be built in here for the kids to climb up a stone fort. You see it in area 4, picture 4. That's the concept for that particular land. So if you have a like, a dislike, And Paulette does have one.
No, I got a
Do
question.
we know what the cost of that underbrush would be?
Just to
do
clear
that section?
To clear out that underbrush is not that expensive. To build the fort will be more expensive.
Do we have numbers for any of these?
No.
Okay, I got a question, one question. How far would this, trail? I'm just asking because, I walk, so I just wanna know how far, is it a mile, is it half a mile?
No,
or-
it's
Couple hundred feet.
Yeah.
That's it?
And- yeah, It's not very.
Oh, I'm thinking I'm gonna have me some of the ball.
The parking lot,
Yeah.
Let me just say something real quick for this group. This is a phased plan. This is everything possible for the residents to consider. Phase 1 is gonna be the playground equipment. Sure. That's the CDBG money. That application has been turned into the county for review. Once it comes back, that they like the bid package, they like the plan concept, we'll make engineering drawings and go out to bid.
Can I ask?
So just let me finish. Keep in mind that what you're looking at is not proposed for right now, it's just what's the best we could get out of this piece of property, okay? And like Lee said, if you don't like it, you let us know, we'll exit right out. Okay.
But if you do like it, we want to start building it. Yes, brother.
You mentioned the play fort a little bit earlier when I thought you would,
The what?
the play fort.
Yes.
Isn't that more of a liability like the old jungle gym thing?
Yeah.
Because Florida is a snake country. That's going to attract snakes and everything. Kids going to be falling off it, hitting their heads. It's, I mean, that would be good just to leave a little bit wooded in there, just have the trail.
We could do that too.
Okay, so we addressed that.
So take a look on Lemon, between Brevard and Orange. Off onto your left, you'll see a wooded area that's been cleared out. There's no forts in there, but it's really beautiful. It really is. Even it's rough condition.
I got pictures of this one burned down.
Well, anyway, so, all right, so we have that suggestion, if it's okay, we'll mark those areas as wooded areas, we'll forget the forts for the time being and all that good stuff you can add. Now, let's talk about the basketball court, because that along with the playground, the reason the whole thing started 25 years ago. This particular basketball court is smaller than the one we had, but not by much. It's still a good sized court.
Is it a full court?
The one we have now is actually 100 by 60, I believe. It's actually an oversized court.
Okay, I'm saying it's the one you're talking about building, it's a full court.
Yes, it's 110 by 55. Actually, that's even
I think
bigger.
it's about the size of a middle school court basketball.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want
There's
to.
actually no distinction.
Well,
94
high
by
school,
whatever.
high school's about 3 feet bigger, college is about 6 feet bigger.
No,
Each one of them gets a little
no,
bit
it's
bigger.
all regulation for
Yeah, we did the research on that. One side.
That's
Okay.
Is the basketball court, going to be designed as a pickleball court? Is that-
The pickleball court is actually the one just here. Right.
So this will be removable or not even there?
No, that's here. That's this area.
Okay, well, I see the basketball.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I see what you're saying. That's a typical example. It's not the design.
So it'll be pickleball.
Yeah, we are probably constructed for pickleball just as well. All right, now, one of the things, the playground is where we started. Oh, I'm sorry, Jim.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
Are they taking the swing sets away?
I hope not.
The swings are,
We hope
we
not.
don't have them listed, but
Okay, I already asked the question.
we'll have to put swings in, but they can't be the swings we've had because the swings we've had are not safe.
So are they actually, is that an option, or, because I know that the community really does want their historical playground equipment. I know Derek's saying they're not safe, but we all survived.
Well,
I mean, We have merry-go-rounds and
It
everything.
doesn't mean we can't put in new ones that are safe, that are identical too. I mean, you want a swing, we still can do a swing, but it won't look quite like the old ones that you and I used. You know, the tight fit, you know, no, but there'll still be swings, yes. If you want swings, that's fine.
Yeah, they need swings in public area, the children enjoy the swing.
Yeah, they have swings. Trust me, I asked that same question, and somewhere on here, he showed me,
A swing?
a swing.
This one right here.
Yes, he showed me this swing here, and like I told him, we don't look at that as per se a swing. It's down here at the bottom of the playground equipment. And he told me we can look in the book at different kinds of swings. You know, like at Blake Park, they have one swing like this where, you know, quite a few kids, twice attached swings with quite a few kids can get on the tire and swing back and forth. But we can have one of them and some of the other ones where kids can go individually. So that's something we need to bring up. That's what we want. We want swings.
Again, the whole idea is to say the basketball court approximately this location, the playground this location, the actual ingredients in there. We did say, as I indicated earlier, the geodesic dome, even though it's not safe, it's been cleaned up and I think it's fantastic. And the little thing with the horses going around, we cleaned that up and it's beautiful. We want to put those in here, but swings, any other kind of, and we've got catalog after catalog of types of toys. So, you know, we get down to that level of detail.
We want this. This
I'm
is
sorry,
for
what is
Ian
it?
Robbins, the train. Is that not fitting? That is perfect. That's nice. If you could take away all the crazy stuff, the over the top, and give something nice, and everybody would be happy. Everybody would be happy. You want pickleball courts, put them over at Blake Park.
That's why we're here.
Let's do it.
Well, you know, instead of us just keep on repeating the same thing over and over and over, it's time to vote on something.
Yes.
Okay.
Just do it. Just
A
do it.
lot of people have
He's
talked
trying to
about
set
that.
up. It's fantastic.
The building either needs to be, it needs to be expanded, it also needs to be brought up to electrical and plumbing code.
Yes.
And the bathroom, upgraded and everything, so.
The outside bathroom, and you can't do the inside stuff.
So, in some of our community meetings, we have recently discussed a little bit about the building, the existing building, and going out this northern part right here. And there's currently windows there going through with double doors and creating a nice Florida Southern giant screen room. Screen porch where people can flow in and out of the building to eat for the seasons and that kind of thing. And really that's a minimal expense to the whole project and taking away from the play fort and the lights and those kind of things. I think the community is more open to those type of.
That's fine. That's
Why would we
excellent.
have picnic tables and grills all the way hidden behind here? That doesn't make any sense on safety wise.
Yeah, we could shift those.
That's just a
You can. One of the, just as an interesting sidelight, Nancy brought up that fort that you had. We have an estimate of equipment for the playground, and what came to us was so flabbergasting, I have to pass it on to you. It was, I believe, $160,000 for the equipment, round numbers.
No, just go with 200.
Yeah, it was quite a bit more than that.
Okay, I'll go 200. Half the cost of that equipment wasn't the equipment, it was the underlying area for, because, I mean, it's not like we don't fill off things and land it on the ground, that doesn't work anymore, again.
Well, is that by law that you have to have the AstroTurf stuff?
No, there's three types of ground you can, bark is one of them, another one is
Rubber.
rubber, And then the third one is when we spec. The county says they would never recommend anything except what we spec. It's more expensive to start with, but it's much easier to maintain.
What do they have at Freedom? Do you know? I haven't been there.
They have basketball,
They have what? After Freedom Playground and Land too.
Oh, I'm talking about Lake Park, sorry.
That stuff is, I mean, it's
Freedom's the rubber bar.
It's the rubberized mulch.
Do you know how they maintain them? Do you know if that is long-time maintenance or?
It's regular maintenance, because all that stuff gets airborne, it gets tracked out, it gets cut up, so it's just struck in and it's spread out.
Okay.
I am before, I'm sorry, yes.
It's easy to see what's going on here. Very easy to see, y'all. Basketball court. Let's get a basketball court, let's build a round ball court, okay? Build a round ball court. Let's get a decent building in there, southern style, spread open. Let's get some community involvement within that building. Let's go ahead and get playground equipment. Let's go ahead and make a wall work for Black history in that area. That's what we need to concentrate on in the beginning. We need to figure out the funds for that and then stop there and go to the next stage after this has been done first. We have to have this part done, Mr. Administrator. I like this concept. This is way on down the road, but what these folks have been waiting for, a lot of these folks, most of their dang lives, unfortunately, right? For a decent round ball court. It'll keep them boys and girls happy down there. There's no question about that. Keep us all happy here. Playground equipment's got to be built a certain way for safety and liability. We've got to do that right. If we don't do that right, everything we put in that playground, we're going to eat one day on liability. Pardon us for being the details on that, but we've got to have that stuff right. The basketball court's kind of easy to do. You know, it's just a redo. It's not that big, 3 or 4 inches deep. And regulation courts are regulation courts. As for the building, I hate spending money on design. If there's someone here in town that can throw in some architectural review or something of that nature to take a look at that, so we can make this concurrent along with the Lake Helen brand and the gateway. We get those 4 elements done, Alyssa, dude. That is a massive accomplishment for us all.
And that's
huge. And let's spend the money there. Let's spend the money there before we start looking to spend the money down the way a year or 3 or 4. Just go, y'all, let me tell you something. Nothing happens fast in city government, either here in Lake Helen. There is so much demand and there's a supply chain right now. It is incredible to get anything done in a reasonable period of time. So, ma'am, we could start tomorrow and it'd still be 2 years before we get this thing done. All right?
At least we have to start.
But please be patient because you've got so far so close right now.
Right,
Everybody in this room, gosh, that's great.
We gotta
That's
have
great.
start.
But Mr. Evett, Mr. Eckert, without getting too far in the sunshine, basketball court, building, Black History Wall, playground equipment done right. How much is that going to cost?
And that's perfect. We can do
That's what
that.
these folks want. That's what I'm hearing.
If that's the consensus in the room, we can adjourn and start designing.
Right, but I'm saying for now, so then for them to start.
Now, just
Thank
Oh,
you.
one more thing about the maintenance. We cannot let that hold us up to do this. We have to figure that part out down the road. That's a big problem for us right now. No question about it. For crying out loud, we've had to hire a dang company to replace the retired public works director. So we have to do this, and we have to figure out the maintenance, but I'm not going to let the maintenance hold this thing up.
and you should. Absolutely.
Sorry, I get passionate because we're so close.
Is this the general consensus of the room? Those elements that the commissioners mentioned? If that's it, that's easy. I mean, we just take this and we say, everything else we'll put in phase 2, phase 3, whatever you want to call it.
Right
That train is cool.
Oh, I think it's back to that. But anyway, is Burke the company that's over?
Yes, that is one of the companies that Ms. Robbins looked at in the Blake Park renovation 2 years ago.
We will, okay, let me tell you what we're going to do then. If the consensus is that we go with what Commissioner Mack recommended, we'll go with those 4 elements, We'll do the building, we have an architect, not really, but close. It's,
Building,
Bobby Moran.
basketball court, playground equipment done right and safe for liability,
Yeah.
Black History Wall.
Okay.
See, we've been
and-
saying that
and
for
we'll-
years, so why are we still here?
Then we'll put them in the locations they are.
We are, just the same.
On this concept, I wish I had this recorded, because I know.
Oh, we have it recorded.
We haven't
Oh,
recorded.
that's
We have
Should go without saying.
Didn't expect me to say thank you, but I do, thank you. So anyway, then we will take those 4 elements, we'll put the rest of it in phase 2, and we'll go ahead with those elements, and we'll start the design of those.
And when can we meet again? When can we meet again so that the community can come back together and say, yes, this is what we really.
We're gonna go to the commission next, and you can come to the commission and tell them, yes, this is what you want.
Thank you, Jim.
They want to hear changes.
Do you know if the CDBG fund is done?
We might just want our vote.
So we're gonna lose that money? Are we gonna lose that money?
That's another discussion. I think there's some sleight of hand there that we can use. I do believe there's some administrative sleight of hand that we could use. That's either a conversation with you or probably tomorrow morning. I'll have Dave. When I go to the first. But it ain't here. And the main house, oh, look. We'll make it work. Oh, that's just way out there. We will.
And we're talking concrete blocks.
That's why I won't get this
The ones that got, in the park in the land, the murals, yeah. You familiar with the land now? Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to have it hot. I'm gonna take a picture, I'll take a picture of some of them and I'll bring them to you.
Fantastic.
And then you
Yeah.
can get back to him.
I have started to run, there it is, name, address, phone numbers, email, so I can communicate with all of you.
Do you want to take do you want a copy of this?
I would like to, yes.
Can she do a copy for you?
Is she gonna copy an email? Do a copy an email?
She can copy it and give it to you here.
Yeah, once
Okay,
it's
afterward
done.
we'll unlock and go in there. All right, and anybody else have anything to say about what we just suggested? That it's a great idea, a bad idea, you want to do whatever?
We good to go on the 4, right? We good to go on the 4? We good to go on the 4. All right.
I just want to clarify, you're taking this to the commission on the
We're
next meeting.
gonna redo this concept, take out the things that in phase 1 that we're not gonna do. And then we'll take it to the commission and say, here's what phase 1 is, and it's the wall, the building, the,
Let's hear it, come on.
the court,
Come on.
and the playground.
There you go.
So I want to ask, I don't know, I would like to submit a picture for your plan for the wall, and it will be similar to, what is it, Painter's Pond in DeLand, I have photos of that.
I was just told to put it on a building facing the road.
Building facing the wall. Where you want to put the wall at?
The wall
I tell you what,
has
John.
been on the, on the.
You want it on the road?
It is the division between the park and
Right.
the residential.
Right.
It has always been,
Are they-
it's not on the building,
are they
not
gonna
on the
be
building.
Where you want it at?
Between the woods
It has
and
its
the
own
playground,
wall.
yes, the road and the.
You want it separate? You want it now?
It is a wall between the park and the house next door.
Okay. One of the things that Roger just mentioned that I heard,
Did they build on the building?
and I hope you all, the new house. You're the same thing. All right, what Roger just brings up is an important point. While we're only going to be doing the materials and the activities and the area we'll designate as first phase, it will be necessary to do some grading throughout the entire park so that we can do the stormwater in that park and that's the foundation element of anything you build is the stormwater.
It's got to be done right,
Yeah,
otherwise
it's
it'll
gotta
be
be
back
done
here.
right, it's gotta be done first. So that will be done, will be part of it. So when you see stormwater on there, say, well, I didn't ask for that. Well, no, you didn't, but I want to make sure. that-
By default, it's going to occur.
And the laws can be
So anyway, now,
I'll take it over there.
okay, how's your picture? If we're in good shape, thank you very much for showing up tonight. I'm going to go with Kelly and we'll make a copy of what we have in the old plan. And I'm going to communicate with you all and give you your email address, what we are doing. I feel like I don't see us on 10
Yeah.